Hello and welcome to Boyd's Blue Alpine Freeze Drying channel. Today I'm going to be freeze drying German pancakes. My plan is to mix each recipe of German pancakes, which is what I would use to put in a 9 by 13 inch pan. So the recipe is going to include 6 eggs, a cup of milk, a cup of flour, and a quarter teaspoon to a half teaspoon of salt, and then blend that all up in a blender or with an immersion blender or something, hand beater, just to get it thoroughly mixed up. And then I will pour that amount into silicone molds and putting them in the molds so I can easily package it as a 9 by 13 pans worth of German pancakes, so that when I reconstitute it, each bag that I put with the freeze dried pancakes in it will reconstitute to make one 9 by 13 inch pan of German pancakes, which is what we usually make for one batch. So that's my plan, is just to mix it up so it'll be as easy to use as possible. Actually easier probably just to add the water back into it than it would be to mix up a new batch of German pancakes. Thank you for coming, and let me get these batches mixed up and in the molds, and we'll go from there. So I have mixed up the German pancakes. I am now pouring it into the mold and weighing it at the same time. It turns out that each batch for a 9 by 13 pan almost exactly fills up one of these 6 silicone molds. There's about, I don't know, maybe equivalent to about a half an egg short and maybe a tablespoon of flour. So I started making the recipe a tiny bit smaller. I used 5.5 eggs instead of 6, so it was 11 eggs per batch, and just under a cup of flour for each 5.5 eggs instead of a cup, and just under a cup of milk. So I just made it slightly smaller, so each batch I had about an extra half an egg left over after the 2 molds were full. So it works out really nicely. Each one of these 6 packs will reach 6 molds will reconstitute to make one 9 by 13 mold, or 9 by 13 glass pan full of German pancakes when it's done. So that's my plan, is to package 6 of these in a package, maybe 12, maybe 12 of them in a package for a double batch of pancakes. So I'm just going to put these in here, weigh each bag. This metal here should fill up just about the last batch. I do have to fill them up kind of to almost overfilling to get the whole batch out, even at this slightly smaller batch, but it works out quite nicely. So yeah, it's a little overfilled there. So anyway, it's going to work out pretty good. So now I just need to put these in the freeze dryer. All right, for the settings, I've got my eggs in here. I did try to I had the freezer running for about 20 minutes while I was loading it, so I'm just going to go ahead and I changed the liquid settings so it shows 7 hours of freezing time, 20 hours of dry time, and the dry temperature is 130. Oops, that should have been 115. So let me back out of here and change that. Let me edit these. Edit the liquid. I'm going to change my temperature here to 115. Okay, and I'm going to jump the mTOR up to 975. Okay, so freeze, now back out of here, save that, and that way it'll stay that same way the next time. So once again, I'm going to use a liquid of 7 hours of freeze time, 20 hours of dry time. The drying temperature is 115 degrees, and the mTOR is 975. So this should be, 27 hours, so it's 5 o'clock now. That'd be about 9 o'clock tomorrow night. So let me go ahead and continue and ensure that the door is locked and the drain is closed. That's good. And start the dryer. And we'll check back tomorrow and see if everything is freeze dried at 20 hours. If not, I'll give it an extra couple of hours and we'll check it the next morning. It's been 27 hours since I started, and all of the pieces are feeling warm. There's no ice still left in them, so they're all done. It just took me 20 hours of dry time like I expected. So I'm just going to package these up and put them in the bags. So let me get these bags, let me weigh the trays so I know how much there was, and then I'll put them in the bags and we'll go from there. Packaging these items is quite simple. I just take and zero out I've weighed each tray. It was like 470 grams for that tray. So now I'm just zeroing out the bag. So my bag is 0 grams. I put the 2 oxygen absorbers in there just because I'm using some really small oxygen absorbers, like 100 gram absorbers. So I just put 2 of them in there for the size bag I've got. And hopefully that'll be enough to keep the oxygen out of it. And I just dropped 2 of the cubes in here. So with these silicone molds, it's just real easy when they're dry to just grab 2 blocks at a time. Put those 2 in the bag. Grab those 2, and then I'll just grab some of these crumbs that leaked out. And for the ones that leak out, I just use the scraper and scrape some of it off the tray. And drop that inside there. Put that in. Note the weight is 230 grams. Squish out as much of the air as I can get. Oops, there's a piece of crumb stuck in there. Okay. Squish out some of the oxygen. Weigh that 229 grams. Mark that, mark it on my bag. And that way I know which labels to put on it, because I will make a label for each bag. It says exactly how much water to add to each bag. So grab my bag, drop in the oxygen absorbers. And zero it out. And here we go. Take that. 2 blocks of German Pancake. 2 blocks of German Pancake. I really like the silicone mold for this very reason. It just makes it so easy to bag these items, and also for, you know, just measuring the size. And it just makes it so easy to calculate. When I do it this way, I know that each one of these bags is going to equal a full 9 by 13 inch baking sheet, and so it just makes it really easy to calculate exactly how much water I pulled out. So I know what it weighed going in and what it weighs coming out, and I can just put the exact amount of water that needs to go back into this bag. So 232 grams. Okay, and so that's all I got to do. Now that I've sealed every bag, I'm gonna, put all the items in the bag, I will just heat seal each bag. So do that, just press this down in there. That's the first time I've used these bags. I think my settings are a little high for this type of bag, so I'm gonna change that one. So I'll heat seal these bags, and then I will come back and put labels on them. First time I've used these bags. They're a little thinner than the last ones I used, so it's not taking as long to seal them. They felt like the first couple bags were melting all the way through, so yeah, you can kind of see that. Definitely heat sealing. I'm gonna turn the temperature down just a little bit longer. It's a bit warm. There we go. So seal all 10 bags, and then I will go print out labels for each bag based on the weight of each bag, and I'll also include in that in those labels, I'll include the reconstitution, how much water needs to go into each bag, and I'll also put the instructions. I'll include the instructions in there as well for saying how much butter to put in the pan, what to heat the pan up to, 425 degrees in the oven, and then cook it till it's brown. So just do the whole instructions in case, someone's never done German pancakes before. They'll have all the instructions they need with this bag to know exactly what they need to do to cook some German pancakes from these pouches. So thank you for coming to Boyd's Blue Alpine Freeze Drying channel. If you're enjoying these channels or getting anything out of it, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me any questions. If there's something specific you'd like me to try to freeze dry, let me know, and I will try to figure out a way to freeze dry it for you and show you how I did it. In this case, this batch took just under 20 hours, well, 27 hours, 7 hours to freeze it, and 20 hours of freeze drying time, which is quite fast for most freeze dryers, I think. So it did a full batch of German pancakes in, you know, 1 day. So it's been pretty happy with this thing. I've been really happy with my Blue Alpine Freeze Dryer. So thank you for coming to my channel. Please leave a like and subscribe. If you know anybody who is interested in buying a freeze dryer, please let them know about Blue Alpine so they'll be able to research it and possibly make this choice as a freeze dryer, because I've been really happy with mine, and it might be something that it's definitely one I would recommend. So thank you again for coming to my channel, and we'll talk to you later.